Hey guys, welcome back to the Community Cares Podcast. I'm Dave. I'm the Executive Director here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet.
And I'm Chaplain Chaz Blackburn, and I have the honor of being the president of this amazing organization. And honestly, I have to say, today's going to be one of my favorite episodes. I get to introduce someone that I truly admire, and I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I want to tell a quick story before we get started. I know it's a little unusual, but I was going through a pretty dark time in my life. I don't want to say super dark, but just a lot of trials. And it was a time of isolation where God really stripped me of people around me, as far as specifically like male friends and different people, because he was like purifying me like silver in the fire. And I had been praying for some godly men to come into my life and brothers. And actually, that's right around when both Emilio, my hermano here, and you, Dave, became really good friends of mine. And
we're friends?
Family or friends?
Yeah.
I mean, Emilio's like family and still a friend, but you could just be family, I guess.
Whoa.
No, but all joking aside, you both came along in my life, and God brought you along, and you guys were literally an answer to prayer. And so the person that I get to introduce today, he's too humble to say all of this, but I'm going to say a few things. So he does a lot for the community. He's always done a lot for the community, besides being a great husband and an amazing father and raising an amazing family, the Vacas. This is Emilio Vaca, and he's not only a friend, but he's been advisor to a governor for the state of California. He ran the data as the data director and all the different strategies for that department. He's done a lot. So also he started a domestic violence center up in North Tahoe and helped with a bunch of those programs. He's stood for a lot of civil rights and things, striving to help the unfortunate or those who are less served or those who need justice. He's been an organizer. He's actually in leadership for the Great Basin Chaplain Corps and also a chaplain. And a while back, there was a lot of suicides in youth. And I remember meeting with Emilio and I talking about what are we going to do to try to change this in the community. And then, God started opening so many doors for Emilio, but one of those was Young Life. And so I'm going to let Emilio talk a little bit about Young Life in a bit, but he is the Metro director for that, and he has taken over this local, amazing organization that connects people and helps children to be known, as he's going to talk about. But without further ado, I want to thank you for the work that you do, and I mean every word that I said. It's not very often that I get to have someone so special on, where you've personally not only impacted many lives, but mine, and I thank you, brother.
What an honor. Thank you both. It's hard not to get teary-eyed hearing Chaz talk about how we met and what we've gone through. And I thank you again for the podcast, having us on and talk a little bit about Young Life, Reno Sparks Young Life. One of the things that we are I would say that we're really good at is going where kids are at. And oftentimes I get asked the question of like, why Young Life? How did you get here? And how did you get to Reno? And just for full disclosure, I was born in Reno. I was born in Washoe Medical Center before I became renowned, and lived in Winnemucca, was raised in Winnemucca. So I know Nevada like no other. But one of the things that Chaz mentioned as we were talking early on about teen suicide, we really got the thing that I love about Chaz. It's let's talk about the problem, but what are we going to do about it? And to me, it was like, we just got to do something. Don't know what we got to do. We got to do hangouts. We got to figure it out. And so in that process, Reno Young Life at the time, and became Reno Sparks Young Life, was looking for a metro area director. And after a lot of prayer and counsel, I said yes. And my yes came with 7 other yeses. And that's my family and my mother-in-law and father-in-law and sister-in-law, because when I get to go out, they're the ones that step in to be part of my house with my wife and my kids. And so Reno Sparks Young Life, we have one mission only, and that is to introduce adolescents to Jesus. That simple. How we go about it, I mean, we could talk about that, different strategies, different approaches, but the main thing that we get to do is introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ. And in some cases nowadays, we're reintroducing Jesus to adolescents as well. And so one of the three things, if somebody were to ask me, what do you do? I get to proclaim the gospel. We get to do incarnational ministry, is to be where the kids are at, the good, the bad, the ugly. That's at sports events, life celebrations, as well as the topic that you mentioned, even being at the emergency room because of attempt of taking their life.
Yeah. And one thing I want to say is, even if your child or you aren't religious or spiritual, what I love about this is, though, yes, you guys have that foundation, you don't ever push an agenda on them. And really that connection of just knowing, having the kids come together and from different friend groups and different schools, it really is building community. I mean, you do a great job of also doing a quarterly, or you were doing a quarterly meet together with community leaders and politicians, just spreading awareness for what you're doing and why this is impactful, and giving data and numbers, which you're like the best at. Data matters. You're the data man.
Right.
But I think that this is a real solution that changes and saves lives. Right. That connection.
Yeah, no, and I think that's the part that Young Life does really well. And again, I don't want to say that we're the only game in town, that we're the best and only the best. I mean, we get to stand on the shoulders of those who came before us with the different spokes of the wheel, working with youth, foster youth, kids in the system, youth in the system, whatever that looks like. Young Life gets to come in and just be like, hey, we are where you're at. Like Chaz said, we don't try to push the agenda. We get to introduce Jesus in a way that we get to walk out what that looks like for these kids. We always feed them. It's always about the free food. And I would say, like, we have students who have been with us for now 3 years. Majority of them have said, hey, I want to learn more about this guy named Jesus. But we also have a handful that are like, I'm not ready. I don't know if I'll ever be ready. And I'm like, that's okay. I always tell the story of, like, Jesus didn't say, hey, first let me get you saved and all that, and then you get to join me. He was like, come join me. Maybe you'll get to stick around, maybe you won't. That's a risk that I'm taking. But it's just been so beautiful to see the students who have not said yes to Jesus still feel welcome, supported. And one of the programs that we're working on, project, is called the Known Campaign, and that's really getting to know kids by name, that they belong and have a purpose. And we've seen an enormous amount of energy from folks to, like, when you call them by their name, there's like a switch that happens, because it's not like, hey man, how you doing? It's like, hey Dave, how you doing? And you're like, he remembered my name. That's so cool.
You're absolutely right. So one of the I've mentioned this on the show before, but those who haven't heard me say it, Walt Disney was famously attentive for people's names. Mm-hmm. He would have a binder of all his staff, and with pictures and names, so he could go through this binder and memorize names. Wow. Because you're right, to be known. I mean, especially back then in the early Disney era, right? I mean, can you imagine being known by Walt Disney?
Yeah.
Walt Disney remembered my name? Whoa. Right. But a peer, anyone that, is present in that person's life, to have that name recognition is so vital to just help someone to feel accepted and known in life, right? Because it's dark, it's scary, it's hard with our technology. I was listening to a podcast earlier today about how this gentleman, and I don't know if I'm going to go this far with my son as he grows, but he said, no, my son's not going to have a phone. My son's not going to have access to the internet. My son's not going to have all these things, which I get, because social media and stuff can be so damaging. I mean, I know it's the cat calling the kettle black, because we're literally making social media right
it's true,
now.
Because the bullying doesn't stop after the bell rings at school. It can go on 24/7.
Now, I do think there is something to be said about educating our kids in that, right? Understanding, hey, this is how the world works, this is how people interact and stuff. But to be known is so vital. Yep. I do want to pause and shout out our sponsors before we continue through a little bit more, but I want to hear more. So we're going to get into our sponsorship segment.
Do we have a fourth sponsor to announce, right? Or is that
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet. Almost.
But we did get a fourth sponsor, which is so exciting, you guys. Thank you so much for investing in us. If you know somebody who might want to be a sponsor or an organization or business, please let them know. It's because of viewers like you and those businesses that are supporting nonprofits and us locally that really makes a difference.
Well, and it really is a win-win for these local businesses that have been sponsoring us because they're able to sponsor. We shout them out, and every week. And not only that, they also get to be able to donate to a local nonprofit that's trying to make a difference in the community.
And a write-off, right?
And a write-off, so our first sponsor is Shelley's Hardware. Shelley's Hardware is a local retailer here in Sparks, Nevada, here off Greenbrae Drive. They are local. They support local, family-owned business that supports Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet by sponsoring the podcast. But beyond that, for fundraisers and other things, they've actually donated some pretty great items. I was talking to one of our donors the other day who won one of the items, our fundraisers, and he loves what he got. It's like a leaf blower / weed whacker.
You're
thing.
stuck on the leaf blower. You keep talking about that every episode.
I mean, it's really cool. It is really cool. Yeah. It's like Transformers, but you can get awesome things there, local, and you can also get, like Hunter has mentioned on this show, a bolt. And you can't go to Home Depot and just get one bolt, can you?
Well, you technically can, but it's...
Oh, that's called stealing, Chaz. We don't condone that.
They have a bolt aisle. For the record.
Not single.
They do. They have a bolt aisle.
At Home Depot?
Yes.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, you have to get a big package.
No, they do.
They do?
Yeah. I just don't want you to...
Now I feel inclined to go stop at Home Depot on the way home.
But Hunter, one of our guests and friends that have been on the show a couple times, he said, because he's in filmography, he's a director in town, and he went there for his Steadicam stand, I believe it was, and he tried on all these different bolts on there. And so after that, we had the manager of Shelley's Hardware on our show, and we talked about this guy who goes in. He's like, I know him. He's always in Shelley's Hardware trying to get that right bolt.
But they're so grateful for even just the business of a bolt because it's a local store, and they give him the same customer service, which you may not get in a big box retailer. So
yeah, no, they're great people. The next sponsor is Spherion. Spherion, are you a business in Reno searching for top talent, or an individual looking for the next great career opportunity? Look no further than Spherion Staffing. As local experts in recruitment, Spherion understands the unique needs of the Northern Nevada job market. They connect qualified candidates with leading companies, ensuring the right fit every time. Whether you need administrative support, light industrial staff, or professional hires, Spherion takes the stress out of staffing. You can call or text them today at 775-829-8367.
great people.
Great local business that cares about people and connects them.
Yep, that's so good.
And they do an excellent job. And those are the sponsors we're shouting out today. It is such a blessing to have these people sponsoring us. Are you laughing because of a few episodes ago? Yeah, that's why you're laughing. I knew why. But it is awesome to have you here, Emilio. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you coming in last minute and so making this happen. We were already trying to work with you to schedule another date. Yeah. And today our person dropped out, which happens sometimes. And I called. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to give him a call, see what happens. And he's like, yeah, I'm here. Yep. So
I love that he's going to leave here and go do Young Life.
He's going to go
make kids known.
That's right.
Yeah. No, and I think that's one of the things that we really try to focus on is we have roughly 56,000 students between middle school, high school, and college, both TMCC and UNR, here in Reno Sparks. We know we don't know them all by name, and they're just waiting for someone, not just Emilio, another leader, another adult, someone from a different ministry, someone from a different church, just to get to say their name. I get reminded of, Jesus talking to Mary, and calling her out by name, and what an impact that had on her. And just to think about that there is a Mary amongst us and one of these 56,000 students here locally.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's powerful. what I'd love to ask you, brother, is what is some of the history of Young Life?
Yeah, so some of the history that Young Life has done, it's 80 something years old now, 84 years old, and it's in 120 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, it's international. Young Life is international, and so we get to be part of that overall mission of introducing adolescents to Christ. And so part of the things that have been exciting for us here locally, we could talk about bigger Young Life, but here locally, just to see the desire and the welcoming from school administrators to different ministries, different churches saying, hey, we know we can't do it by ourselves. These students really need someone to be part of their life outside of school, outside of the, when they go back into their communities. And so that's been a huge big highlight to say that we're now, when I first started, we were in my living room. I was the leader, I was the staff member, and now we have 12 leaders and adding, and we're in 3-4 different schools. And just to see what God has been doing in a year and a half has been really amazing in that. And the other part too is we've been able to take kids to camp. As Chaz mentioned tonight, we do a thing called Club. It's Wildlife. That's our middle school. We'll have like 20 kids there tonight making tamales, and today's Candlemas. I don't know if you know that. Candlemas is it's like seeking the light. We get to be in this place in the winter, it's usually dark. And sometimes that's a reflection of our inner selves as well.
Wow.
And so we get to be the light as Young Life, and tonight we get to be the light for these middle schoolers at our house making tamales.
Hey, it's been around a long time, Young Life has. I mean, your dad was a part of it like 70 years ago, right?
He was, yeah. More than
He's gonna watch
about
this.
70 years ago.
He's gonna
That's
get a
right.
kick
Today's
out of
his
that.
birthday, actually.
Happy birthday, sir.
Yeah, I gave him a call.
Thank you for your service and
Yes.
for being an amazing guy. I love that guy. I
Yeah?
see him at church, you give him a big hug, and
Did you see him on Sunday?
I did not.
He was there.
Well, I didn't see him.
Wow, he didn't look very hard.
Well, I tell you what, I actually left. What is that supposed to mean?
No reason.
Is he just easy to spot?
No, I mean, you care about community, but you don't act it out. You know what I mean?
It sounds like you guys both need to come get a training on how to find and be known.
Yeah, people need to be known, Chaz. Aren't you listening?
Well, happy birthday, buddy. We love you and appreciate your support of not only Dave but of Good Shepherd's Close.
Yeah, thanks for serving Young Life 70 years ago, Dad. Appreciate it.
Right. And you were also a Young Life kid, right?
Yeah.
I helped lead in
Yep.
Young Life at when I was with Lindsay, who was over a lot of Young Life stuff around town for a little bit, and
So
yeah, it's a great ministry. It does a lot of good in the community, and is helping a lot of people. And personally, one of the things I really appreciate about Young Life is it's not church.
Yeah.
Right.
So true. Yep.
Because people think Christian ministry, it's just church. Why are you guys doing church in everyone's house?
Right.
Well, it's not just. It's more about community. And I've seen through Young Life, through the program, people are saved, or sometimes people aren't.
Right.
And they're just wanting community, and those people are welcome because it's not an intimidating church environment necessarily. And it's not that church is a bad thing, but for some people, church is a terrifying thing. Mm-hmm. And so to be able to have community outside of that as a parachurch organization, to be able to help people like that is vital. Right. It really is. It's something that can really help that student that may just have a bad taste in their mouth about Christians, which I understand. Christians can be very rough sometimes. Very rough.
Yeah.
I still love you.
Thanks, buddy.
No,
Thanks, buddy.
you-
No, I was going to just say that one of the things that you highlighted is two things actually, is we're not Young Life is not here to replace the church. We're not a church replacement. We don't replace youth group. One way to look at it is we get to be the outreach outside the four walls, and sometimes, in some cases, for the kingdom. But one of the things that you highlighted that's really important is it's not just the students who might have not the best experience with church, but oftentimes, actually most of the time, in our case that we've seen, it's been their parents. And so part of what we get to do with Young Life locally is not just ministering and being part of the kids' lives, we get to be part of the families' lives. And so that's the part that really excites me, is that when we get to see health and aspects of, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, not only in the student, but to see that reflection and also in the parent. It's in a really good balance. And the other part that you mentioned, David, and I don't want to take too much time here, but one of the things that you highlighted is something that I love about Young Life. It's like you could take away camp, you could take away club, you could take away bowling, you could take away all those things. The only reason why Young Life works is because it's all about relationships. That is what we do. Is we don't get to know someone by name just because we walked up to them and said, "What's your name?" It's we get to know them. They feel known. We know them from the perspective of a relationship. So if you can still do Young Life without the clubs, you can still do Young Life without a camp and all those other fun stuff.
Yeah, but Woodleaf is awesome.
Yes, I don't want to disagree on that.
I love that place.
The Woodleaf is amazing.
It is so fun to go there, and they do such an excellent job up there, and I loved serving as a leader and being able to be a part of that.
And those are great things to have, but the main thing is just like, what Jesus does is he just wants to have a relationship.
People matter.
And that's
from the outside in, because I'm not a part of Young Life, I support it. Sometimes I get invited to the community leader quarterly meeting.
Just to make it clear, he's always invited. Not sometimes invited.
Well, they've been stopped though, right?
Well, we took a little break.
Okay. Just making sure I haven't missed them.
Wow, way to blow them off.
I know.
We took a break from Chaz. No. I'm kidding.
Wow, that was good.
We did not take a break.
Snuck in.
From Chaz, but we did.
I'm going to throw some shade on Adam Mayberry for not eating the baby food out there. Now he's the president of Washoe County School District. No, it's an amazing organization from the outside in, though. And I mean, I've, as a chaplain, I've had an individual or family reach out to me and you at the same time about things that they were going through. And the one thing that you really touched on is it's fellowship and support for the whole family. So the parents and the children. Right. And that's invaluable because, it's not about who knows how to parent better. We all learn from each other. And that is so critical, especially for single parents who are maybe are struggling or going through some tough times, like to have a resource of being able to talk to another parent. I mean, it's community and connection upon connection.
Right.
Yeah, no, peer support is definitely something that a lot of people don't have. Right. A lot of people don't have peer support, including students. And like I was mentioning earlier, I was listening to that podcast, and that guy's like, yeah, I'm not going to give my kid anything because of that, right? And I think that's an overcorrection. I get the thought from that. I do understand the thought process. But you can't shelter your kid from everything. So how can you find peers that are going to encourage like-minded, good qualities, right?
You also just hit on it, homeschool. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. For those who are afraid of, the public system.
Yeah, and I'm
concerned.
I have mixed feelings about homeschooling. I was homeschooled, so that's why I'm strange, if you're wondering. But it's one of those things. No laugh. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, I think every parent has to decide what's best for their kid. So
wow.
I don't want
I was like, that joke fell.
I don't want to segregate those.
Laying it on its face.
Listen,
man.
I don't want to segregate those who are choosing to homeschool and doing a good job. I just think it can be maybe less beneficial in some situations, and so I mean, you have a right to that, and I just wanted to
jeez.
But you're highlighting something that's really important too, and both of you are, just to be the middleman here.
Literally,
no pun intended. But I would say the beauty of public school homeschooling that we get to see in Young Life is we get to become that safe space.
Amen.
And for Young Life, we go for the furthest one out. We can hang out with the most popular kid, but we go for the furthest one out, and in some cases in our society, that's a homeschooler. Yeah. The one who doesn't get invited to the parties, the one, like the birthday parties, not the other kinds of parties, but the birthday parties. And so Young Life becomes that safe space to be like, oh, I could actually be there and not feel judged or feel, and I am no different than the kid that goes to a richer school or a bigger school. And so I've been able to say as a witness that having both has been a really good complementary of supporting both of the students. That it's not just like, hey, let's support the one in the school, but it's the homeschooler. And we do have a lot of homeschoolers in Young Life.
That's awesome.
And it's a
because they're seeking community.
Yep.
And at being someone that's homeschooled, I appreciate my siblings, I appreciate my parents, and I think they treated me very well. But the thing I always desired, even in homeschooling, was social interaction.
Fair enough.
And it was really hard, like not being able to have that. I always wanted more. I always wanted to be out, and so eventually I just did it.
Yeah.
And sometimes not in the best way, and sometimes in an okay way, right? So so that is for me that line. I think I've known people who do homeschooling very well, but I've also known people who do it very, very wrong. And so and they sometimes they'll hide it or cover it up or those kinds of things because they're embarrassed. And that's not healthy either. I do think standards matter in our school district. I really do. I think those standards matter. And my wife, I mean, she's a public or a private school teacher, so she's been teaching in private schools for years. And she can normally pick out the kid who was homeschooled. I hate to say it like that, but she can normally pick them out pretty quickly. And a lot of times they're behind socially and stuff because of that. And it's just reality. I mean, I'm not saying that's across the board. I don't think it's across the board. But it happens a lot.
Well, thank goodness for Young Life.
Yeah, and it matters.
But I was going to say is that at the end of the day, it's if you're homeschooled or in the public school system, it also comes down to the individual child, an individual student. And we've seen some homeschoolers that are like super plugged in the community, doing things. And I say that because those are my girls. Right. They were homeschooled for a long time. And so then you have other students, like you said, who are not plugged in. And so I'm thinking is just finding how do we create those spaces for those kids to still feel safe and feel like they belong. And the community is a growing community like Reno Sparks. It's, to think that we have 56,000 students, just middle school through college, that tells you there's a lot of
there's a lot of people.
There's a lot of people, young people.
I sometimes don't feel very safe with one of my peers on a weekly basis on Monday nights. Okay, so
I am a chaplain, so we can talk about that afterwards. I know a guy. You know a guy?
Okay, good.
Listen,
Thank you.
I know that's not true because you bring all your problems to me and I listen.
I feel unsafe.
I feel like this is a therapy session.
You're not the first guest who said that.
On this corner, we have
that's why I love Mondays. I just get it all out.
Just get it out. Just get it out. Why don't you share with us maybe a little bit, maybe some of the future and vision and what inspires you to do what you do?
Yeah, no, we're on this path right now of wanting to get to know more kids, and part of that is not just Emilio, and I think oftentimes ministries do the mistake of trying to pump up their person to this is our person, like we gotta, and the thing that I'm really excited about is that we're going after leaders. We want to, doesn't matter how old you are. There's something really beautiful. The model that Jesus gave us as an example is that he picked 12 people that in today's society we would never think. They're the homeschoolers, the ones that wouldn't. They're the furthest one out.
Freaking nerds.
Yeah, and he picked them, and look what they were able to do. And so that's the exciting part is that we're looking and seeking leaders. It doesn't matter where you're at in life. We have the sweetest, most caring Christian, and we have some of our leaders are going through life right now, struggling, and it's like, hey, what a beautiful, beautiful testimony for you to share with another teenager, and for them to see that you're leaning in on God to walk you through this. So our future adventures here are going to be really looking at how do we go deeper, not so far, and that's why we haven't gone to a lot of schools, is we want to really be in that school, plant it really well, do really well.
And I respect that. I really do, because you don't want to overextend yourself. You want to really invest in those kids that you commit to.
Exactly. And our goal is to get to 100 volunteers. That's our goal, is to get 100 leaders. That's what it's going to take to get to 56,000 students. But then some. The other things we're going to be looking at is really looking at how do we partner more, not that we haven't, but to be more intentional about partnering with other ministries and community organizations to better support all these students. And we're like I said, we're not the only game in town, and so we know like, hey, we need to work with Awaken and Scarlet Hope and Good Shepherd's Closet and Eddie House and the Great Basin Chaplain Corps. Like we need to like figure out how do we, if we do it together, we can get a lot further.
Collaboration. Yep.
Collaboration.
So important.
And I would say the last part that we really also want to focus on in the next 2 to 3 years is because I am the metro area director for Reno Sparks, and my goal and our committee's goal has been to stand up a staff person in each of these communities: Sparks, Northwest Reno, the North Valleys, the Valleys, and then South Reno.
Wow.
And so in the next 5 years, I want to duplicate myself, multiply myself, to be able to have a dedicated person in their community, and really going into one example is going into TMCC, and I mean that's like a gold mine if you think about it. Is all those students that go there still live at home. They graduated from one of our schools. Those relationships they have are so vital and critical. And nothing against you and our students, because most of them do come from other areas, and that's beautiful too. But just to know that we have somebody locally who still lives in their neighborhood, it's exciting. And I would say like in that is really going to be our goal for the known campaigns for the next until 2028, 29, is really make that our flagship of getting to know kids by name, and in that process we get to know adults by name. And I always joke about this is we do a really good job to pursue kids, but how many of us do an okay job of pursuing adults? And that's something that we're excited about doing as well, is pursuing adults to become leaders and whatever else. But and obviously taking kids to Woodleaf is one of my life goals. Is just take buses, and then one of the other things, we have a lot going on, but one of the other things we're going to be doing probably in the next year and a half is bringing other Young Life from other areas of the country to come and serve our community.
Wow.
Young Life has a ministry called Servant Leadership Project, and I get to go serve on that team for 12 days in San Diego.
Oh, how cool.
And so we're going to be taking a couple of our own students here locally. And the goal is to learn the model so we can come back and bring other students from other areas and commit to 12 days to be able to go serve Reno Sparks. Like, we have the greatest opportunity, not just on the kid field, but in the field of serving community. And so that's one of the things that I get excited about, because that's where the collaboration comes in of like, how can we go serve Good Shepherd's Closet? You know, how can we
Sort some clothes, yeah. That's awesome.
Exactly.
So give us your closer, man. What inspires you? Why should people be a part of what Young Life is doing?
And that's a really good question. The thing that inspires me the most is, and maybe you don't have a child of your own, or maybe you have nieces and nephews. It's hard not to get emotional, but being part of someone's life, a young life who try to take their own life, put things into perspective, that it matters what we do. Our words matter, our actions matter. And so for me, what inspires me is to know that even if it's one more kid, that's one less kid that I don't have to go visit at the hospital that they try to kill themselves.
Or completed the job, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's one of the main part of what we get to do, and even as a chaplain, is how we started all. Like how I started was just like, I want to go after these kids. The inspiration part for me is also, I was one of those kids who was the furthest one out, and I wish somebody knew me by name for the right things, not for the bad things that I was doing as a young kid. And so I just want to invite any young adult who has a desire for kids to maybe be an impact, even if it's a ripple of their journey. It doesn't have to be the full journey, but even if it's a segment of their journey, to be able to speak into their life. And sometimes speaking into their life is just by being there, not even saying a word, just being there. If you are called and feel like that's an area that you feel like you want to be part of, we always say that there's the three things you can do in Young Life is you can volunteer. But the main important one that you can do is pray. I ask people just to pray. Like, whatever you do, just pray for us, because we get to go into these kids' lives and their families' lives. It's a hot mess. And the other third part is really the donating part. You know, some people are like, I don't have time to volunteer, but I have money. And so I would just encourage folks that if you're one of those three, if you're a prayer warrior, feel free to reach me. I have to carry my card around because I'm like, what's my phone number again? 775-899-7573. And let me know if you're interested in serving with kids. And we do, I just want to be really clear, we do follow all the protocols of background checks and all that. So we don't put anybody in a position of leadership without first getting screened and all that to know that they're okay. And then we obviously have an internal process where character and all that but the one thing I did say too is I want to just thank the two of you, because I know I'm sitting amongst giants here in the work that you guys are doing, and it's exciting for me because this is an opportunity to be able to also see how we can collaborate beyond this. And I know coming on the podcast is one little piece of that, but I'm excited for what is to come, and that's going to be great.
Lots of great things ahead for the collaboration, and I just want to thank you for turning your pain into purpose to help children from what you went through. And we have a cliche saying we have here on the show, which is be the change that you want to see in the world, and that's what we do. Is we all, and you definitely embody that. You want to be the change for Jesus and reflect his light and love, and it's all about relationship. Yep. We try to complicate it. It's about relationship and just loving on people.
There was a lady today that came to Good Shepherd. We banned her because she cussed out volunteers and she did things she shouldn't have done in front of them and stormed out and stole a coat. So we banned her. That was a few months ago. She came in today. She teared up a little bit. She said, I know I'm banned. I'm sorry. I acted irrationally. I was in pain and I took it out on you guys. Is there any way I can get clothes today? And she apologized. She was kind. And I was there just in case something happened. But she was gracious. She was kind. She put things back she didn't need. And we were able to help someone be known.
Yeah.
And help someone that had nothing have something.
Amen.
She said she was in our place, which is the Women's and Children's Center. It's the shelter downtown, if you guys don't know. And so to be able to go above and beyond and help that individual today, it's about people. Young Life is about people. Good Shepherd's Closed Closet is about people.
Right.
It's about human beings that need something.
Right.
And so filling that need, whether it's peer support, whether it's clothing, is vital. Chaz, was your statement before, was that your final thoughts? Or do you have final thoughts beyond that?
Well, we never get political on here. But something I did want to say is touching on loving our fellow humans that you were just so elegantly talking about. In this environment, in this world today, it is so important that we start loving each other and loving our fellow humans, despite differences, that we continue to come together as a community, and especially as nonprofits. We have to set that example and collaborate and fill in those gaps for the people that need it most. And I just want to remind us of that, because this world seems to get darker, but our lights shine brighter, and we got to remember that and just keep shining and loving people.
Ooh, that's a good final thought. Thank you, brother. And you kind of already gave your phone number out there.
Website?
If people want to donate
Facebook?
Financially to you guys, how can we
You
do
can go
that?
to our website. Sorry, that's Reno Sparks Young Life.
Okay.
.org, and then there's a way to donate on there. And
Awesome.
that's a volunteer and whatnot. I know Chaz is busting out the checkbook.
Right now, I'm brushing out the checkbook, but it's
Don't
not.
show it on
hold
camera, dude. Don't show it on camera.
It's not for Young Life.
That's a lot of zeros there, bro.
Oh.
So I won't say her name because we protect the children, but one of Emilio's daughters always gives me a heart attack because she calls from either her mom's phone or her dad's phone.
Oh.
And I always think something's wrong when I hear her voice, on the phone, just because I'm not used to it. And then, would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies? So I owe him $40 for some Girl Scout cookies.
There you go. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, thank you both.
Hey, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. If you want to find out more about Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, please visit getclothes.org. You can donate volunteer time, you can donate clothes, donate financially, or you can just, share and follow and like and be a part of what we're doing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for you guys. Without you, there is no Community Cares podcast and no Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet and no Young Life without people, right?
Thank you.
So we really appreciate you guys as supporters. We help over 800 people a month. No matter what. We're asking you to come alongside and help one. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
Take care.